1970. A year that would be remembered for its profound impact on the world. It was a time of great upheaval and transformation, a period when the old ways were being challenged and new ideas were taking root. A year etched in memory. Across the globe, people took to the streets, their voices rising in unison, demanding justice, equality, and change. The air was thick with the spirit of revolution, and the world watched as history unfolded. A year of global tension. Political rallies drew massive crowds, each one a testament to the growing discontent and desire for a better future. Military parades showcased the might of nations, but beneath the surface there was a palpable sense of unease. The Vietnam War cast a long shadow. Social movements demanded change. The conflict in Vietnam was a focal point of global attention, with images of the war and anti-war protests dominating the media. The world was divided, and the streets echoed with cries for peace. The world watched, uncertain of the future. Families gathered around their televisions, witnessing events that would shape the course of history. The news brought stories of conflict, but also of hope and resilience. From the battlefields to the streets, 1970 was a pivotal year. Soldiers fought in distant lands, while citizens at home fought for their rights and freedoms. The struggle for justice and equality was a common thread that connected people across continents. This essay explores the events that shaped 1970. We will journey through the key moments that defined this tumultuous year, examining the forces that drove change and the individuals who stood at the forefront of these movements. We will delve into political upheavals, social movements, and cultural shifts. From the rise of environmentalism to the fight for civil rights, each event played a crucial role in shaping the world we live in today. From the escalation of the Vietnam War to the rise of environmentalism, the year was marked by a series of significant events. These moments not only defined the era but also set the stage for future generations to build upon. This is the story of a year that changed the world. A year that challenged the status quo, inspired movements, and left an indelible mark on history. Join us as we explore the legacy of 1970 and its lasting impact on our world. The Vietnam War continued to escalate in 1970. U.S. involvement deepened, sparking protests at home. The conflict spilled over into Cambodia, further fueling anti-war sentiment. The world questioned the war's purpose and cost. Public opinion turned against the war. Images of the conflict flooded television screens. The human cost became undeniable. 1970 marked a turning point in the war's narrative. Peace became an urgent demand. Political change swept the globe in 1970. Salvador Allende, a Marxist, was elected president of Chile. His victory sent shockwaves through Latin America. In the Middle East, tensions between Israel and its Arab neighbors remained high. The Black September crisis in Jordan brought the region to the brink of war. The Cold War continued to shape global politics. The United States and the Soviet Union engaged in a dangerous arms race. The threat of nuclear war loomed large. Social movements gained momentum in 1970. The civil rights movement continued its fight for equality. The women's rights movement demanded equal pay and opportunities. The gay rights movement found its voice after the Stonewall riots of the previous year. These movements challenged societal norms and demanded justice. They gave voice to the marginalized and fought for a more equitable society. Section 5, A New Awareness Environmentalism Takes Root. 1970 witnessed the birth of the modern environmental movement. The first Earth Day, held on April 22, galvanized millions to demand action on pollution and conservation. The event raised awareness about the planet's fragility. The environmental movement gained traction. People began to understand the interconnectedness of human actions and the health of the planet. This newfound awareness paved the way for environmental legislation and activism. Section 6. Technological leaps and their impact. Technology advanced rapidly in 1970. The Intel 1103, the first commercially available dynamic access memory, or DRAM chip, was released. This breakthrough paved the way for smaller, more powerful computers. The development of the floppy disk provided a convenient way to store and transfer data. These technological advances laid the foundation for the personal computer revolution of the coming decades. Section 7, Music and Culture, A Tapestry of Trends. 1970 was a year of musical and cultural ferment. The streets were alive with the sounds of change, and festivals became the epicenters of this vibrant transformation. People gathered in droves, united by a shared love for music and a desire for social change. Rock music continued to evolve, with bands like Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, and the Rolling Stones leading the charge. Their live performances were electrifying, drawing massive crowds and creating unforgettable experiences. These bands weren't just making music, they were crafting the soundtrack of a generation. And the Rolling Stones releasing iconic albums. These records weren't just collections of songs, they were cultural milestones that captured the spirit of the times. Each album cover became a piece of art, symbolizing the creativity and rebellion of the era. Soul and funk music flourished, with artists like Marvin Gaye and James Brown pushing musical boundaries. Their performances were not just concerts but powerful statements of identity and resistance. They used their music to address social issues and inspire change, and James Brown pushing musical boundaries. In the recording studio, these artists experimented with new sounds and techniques, creating music that was both innovative and deeply emotional. Their work laid the groundwork for future generations of musicians. The film industry produced classics like MS*H and Five Easy Pieces, reflecting the social and political anxieties of the time. These films were more than entertainment. They were mirrors reflecting the complexities and struggles of society. They challenged audiences to think critically about the world around them. Fashion embraced both bohemian and glam rock styles, reflecting the era's spirit of rebellion and self-expression. The bold and eclectic fashion choices of the 1970s were a testament to the desire for individuality and freedom. From flowing bohemian dresses to glittering glam rock outfits, fashion became a powerful form of personal and political expression. Section 8. Sports Moments of Triumph and Unity. The world of sports provided moments of excitement and unity in 1970. Brazil, led by the legendary Pelé, won its third FIFA World Cup title in Mexico. The victory sparked celebrations across Brazil and cemented Pelé's status as a global icon. In the United States, the newly formed Pittsburgh Steelers won their first Super Bowl, defeating the Minnesota Vikings. These sporting events transcended national boundaries, bringing people together through shared passion and excitement. Section 9. 1970. A Bridge to the Future. 1970 was a year of profound change and upheaval. It was a time when the world seemed to be at a crossroads, with old ways being challenged and new paths being forged. The streets were filled with the voices of those demanding change, and the air was thick with the sense of possibility and uncertainty. It was a year of war and peace, of progress and setbacks. The Vietnam War raged on, casting a long shadow over the global landscape. Yet, amidst the chaos, there were also moments of hope and unity, as peace rallies brought people together in a shared desire for an end to the conflict. The events of 1970 left an indelible mark on the world, shaping the course of history in ways that are still felt today. From political upheavals to cultural revolutions, the year was a catalyst for change that reverberated across the globe, shaping the political, social, and cultural landscape for decades to come. Political rallies became a common sight as people from all walks of life came together to demand their rights and push for a better future. Cultural events celebrated the diversity and creativity of the human spirit, while social movements worked tirelessly to address the injustices of the past. The Vietnam War eventually ended, but not without leaving lasting scars. The conflict had taken a heavy toll on both soldiers and civilians, and its aftermath was felt for years to come. The war had exposed deep divisions within society, but it had also sparked a renewed commitment to peace and reconciliation, but not without leaving lasting scars. The images of returning soldiers and war memorials served as a stark reminder of the human cost of conflict. Yet even in the face of such loss, there was a determination to heal and move forward. Social movements continued to fight for equality and justice, paving the way for a more inclusive society. The civil rights marches and women's liberation rallies of 1970 were powerful expressions of the desire for change, and they laid the groundwork for future generations to build upon, paving the way for a more inclusive society. Leaders of these movements became symbols of hope and resilience, inspiring others to join the fight for a fairer and more just world. The environmental movement gained momentum, raising awareness about the need to protect the planet. The first Earth Day in 1970 marked a turning point, as millions of people came together to advocate for environmental protection and sustainable practices. raising awareness about the need to protect the planet. The images of pollution and environmental degradation served as a wake-up call, prompting efforts to clean up and preserve the natural world for future generations. 1970 was a bridge between the past and the future, a year that forced the world to confront its challenges and strive for a better tomorrow. The technological advancements and innovations of the time were a testament to human ingenuity and the relentless pursuit of progress. A year that forced the world to confront its challenges and strive for a better tomorrow. As people worked towards progress, they laid the foundation for a future that would be shaped by the lessons and experiences of 1970. It was a year that reminded us of the power of collective action and the importance of never giving up on the dream of a better world.